Okay, good day class. So today we're going to be having a discussion about schizophrenia. So let's start. So first, what is schizophrenia? So schizophrenia is known as a split mind. Pero pag sinabi nating split mind, it doesn't mean that it shows multiple personality. Schizophrenia kasi is a psychiatric disorder characterized by profound disruption in cognition, emotion, perception, and behavior, often leading to distorted reality interpretation. So bakit ba nagkakaroon tayo ng disruptions doon sa cognition, emotion, perception, and behavior? So it's most likely nagkakaroon ng diminished functioning or process yung brain natin. So because of this, nagkakaroon ng disruption dun sa mga basic functioning ng isip ng utak natin, which may lead into the distortion of our reality. Now, schizophrenia is a very complex and debilitating mental illness, meaning it can affect many aspects of a person's life to the point na kailangan natin siyang alalayan, suportahan. No? Now, so what are the causes of schizophrenia? While the exact cause remain unclear, kasi hindi pa natin talaga alam kung bakit nagkakaroon ng schizophrenia, schizophrenia is thought to result from an interplay of genetic, neurobiological, environmental, and even psychological factors. So ito yung mga titingnan natin, okay, or pag-uusapan natin para magbigay tayo or magkaroon tayo ng konting idea kung bakit nagkakaroon ng schizophrenia ang isang tao. So unahin natin yung genetic. Okay. So like many other mental disorder, ang schizophrenia can be hereditary or pwede siyang mamana. So una dito is a possible family history. So individuals with first degree relative, for example, magulang mo, kapatid mo, kakambal mo, with schizophrenia have a significantly higher risk. So pag ikaw, meron kang kamag-anak, especially yung parents or kapatid mo, mataas ang chance na magkaroon ka na rin ng schizophrenia. Now, another genetic factor is yung specific genetic variations. So sometimes kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng mutations sa genes natin na pwedeng maka-apekto dun sa ating brain development and even neurotransmitter regulation. Because of these, pwede itong mag-lead into schizophrenia. Okay, another possible cause is neurobiological factors. During our previous discussion, pinag-usapan natin yung mga neurobiological functions ng brain natin. Ano? Yung neurotransmitters, yung mga ganun, mga hormones, yan, pinag-usapan natin yan. So, malaki ang epekto ng neurobiological factors into possibly acquiring schizophrenia. For example, neurotransmitter imbalances, dysregulation of dopamine, glutamate, and serotonin pathways implicated in schizophrenia. So pag yung hindi regulated ng maayos yung mga hormones mo, okay, or yung mga neurotransmitters mo pala, such as your dopamine and serotonin, it can lead to development of schizophrenia. Okay, another one is yung structural brain abnormalities, reduced brain volume, lumiit yung utak mo, ano? Okay, or enlarged ventricles, yan. And abnormalities in the hippocampus, amygdala, and prefrontal complex can actually lead to acquiring schizophrenia also. Functional connectivity or impaired communication between different brain regions. So basically, pag nagkaroon talaga ng physical defect yung ating brain, okay, pwede itong mag-lead sa schizophrenia. Okay, another one is yung environmental factor. So there are certain environmental factors that can lead to schizophrenia. For example, prenatal exposure to infections, malnutrition, or toxins. So may buntes. Okay, pregnant women. Okay, pregnant women na na-expose sa infection. Okay, so any form of infection or even malnourishment or even toxins that can affect the development of the fetus inside the womb, especially the brain, possible itong mag-cause ng schizophrenia paglabas ng bata in the future. Okay, complications during birth such as hypoxia or prolonged labor. So, hypoxia is lack of oxygen, di ba? So, if the mother suffering distress, magsasuffer din ng distress si baby, yung fetus natin, which can lead to hypoxia which can lead to prolonged labor, which can lead to hypoxia, again causing damage to the brain, which can cause schizophrenia in the long run paglabas ng bata. Okay, another one is early childhood trauma, di ba? Neglect or even abuse can cause schizophrenia paglaki ng bata. Substance use, especially during adolescence, yung paggamit ng cannabis or marijuana, amphetamines or shabu, all of this can actually lead to schizophrenia along the way. Okay? So another one is psychological and psychosocial stressor. So stress. Yeah? Stress, lahat naman tayo. During our previous discussion, we've talked about stress. Ano? At lahat naman tayo nakaka-experience ng stress. So if you are on a high stress environment, it can lead to schizophrenia. Okay? Dysfunctional family dynamics or high emotional expressiveness within families can lead to high stress. Halimbawa, hindi maganda yung relationship mo sa parents mo or sa kapatid mo, pwede kang ma-stress dyan. So, pag overwhelmed ka na masyado and you don't have proper coping mechanism, it will definitely lead to schizophrenia. So, like I've said before, students has a very high level of stress. So, pag ito pinabayaan nyo, at wala kayong proper coping mechanism, possible na mag-lead ito sa schizophrenia. So, relax lang tayo, no? Ingat ng konti. Okay, now, let's talk about the signs and symptoms of schizophrenia. No? Pag-usapan natin yung mga iba't ibang signs and symptoms. So, madami to actually. Ano? So, technically naman, hindi naman siya, even though na malami naman tayong signs and symptoms ng schizophrenia, it doesn't mean na magmamanifest ito lahat. Okay? So, let's start with hallucination. So, this is one of the hallmark signs and symptoms of schizophrenia. So, ano ba yung tinatawag natin na hallucination? So, hallucinations is a false perception of objects or events involving the senses of sight, sound, smell, and touch. So, when you say hallucination, it means that meron ka nakikita pero wala naman. Meron ka naririnig pero hindi naman naririnig ng iba. Meron ka naaamoy pero hindi naman naaamoy ng iba. So on and so forth. So it involves the 5 senses natin. Ano? So, ano-ano bang klase, mga iba't ibang klase natin ng hallucination? So, you have your auditory, very common ito sa mayroong mga schizophrenia, yung may mga bumubulong-bulong, hears voices not audible to others. Okay? Pangalawa is visual, sees images that do not exist at all, yung may nakikita ka, pero wala naman talaga, or nasa isip mo lang talaga, meron din naman nakikita ng iba. You have olfactory hallucinations wherein you smell something, but other people doesn't smell it, smells odor that seem to be emanating from their bodies. Okay, tactile, meron kang nararamdaman pero wala naman talaga dapat. For example, may gumagapang na may nararamdaman ka parang gumagapang langgam or insect doon sa balat mo, pero pag tinitingnan mo wala naman, or wala rin naman nakikita yung ibang tao. Okay? And you have gustatory, false perception of taste. Yung meron kang nalalasahan or meron kang kinain. For example, kumain ka ng candy na supposedly sweet, pero ang perception mo maasim. So that can be considered to be a gustatory hallucination. Okay? Next one are delusions. So ano man yung ibig sabihin ng delusions or delusion? So delusions are unshakable belief in something that is untrue. So when you say delusion, you will live by that belief. Okay, kahit na untrue yun, you live by that belief na para sa iyo yung bagay na yun ay totoo. So yun yung ibig sabihin ng delusion. So marami tayong klase ng delusion. So isa-isahin natin, So number 1, you have delusions of persecution. A false belief that someone is trying to harm you even when there is no evidence to support it. Yung paranoid ka, akala mo laging merong mananakit sa'yo, laging may papatay sa'yo, na feeling mo laging may nakatingin sa'yo, may nag-aabang sa'yo. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng delusions of persecution. Another one is delusions of grandeur. Pag delusions of grandeur naman, ito naman yung belief of self-importance. Feeling mo importante ka. Halimbawa, akala mo you believe in the truth na ikaw ang presidente ng Pilipinas, or you believe in the truth na isa kang sikat na artista. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng delusions of grandeur. Another one is delusions of reference. So ano ba yung delusions of reference? Ano? When you say delusions of reference, it is a false belief that ordinary events, objects, or actions are specifically directed at the person experiencing the delusion. Ang ibig sabihin ng delusions of reference, it means that yung mga bagay sa paligid mo, feeling mo sa'yo nakasentro. Halimbawa, meron kang nakita mong classmate mo na nagkukwentuhan, feeling mo ikaw yung pinagkukwentuhan. Or kaya, meron kang napapanood na balita sa TV, feeling mo yung ibinabalita nila sa TV tungkol sa'yo. So, ganun yung ibig sabihin ng delusions of reference. Even though na hindi naman talaga sa'yo nakasentro yung mga activities and events na to. Ano? Another one are delusions of influence. So, delusion of influence, false belief that other people or external forces are controlling a person's thoughts, feelings, or actions. So, pag sinabi naman delusions of influence, pakiramdam mo, yung pag-iisip mo at galaw mo ay kontrolado ng ibang tao na para bang binrainwash ka. Na yung feeling mo, someone is controlling you. Ganun yung ibig sabihin ng delusions of influence. Okay? Another type of delusion is yung magical thinking. So, ano ba yung magical thinking? So, magical thinking, when a person believes that specific words, thoughts, emotions, or rituals can influence the external world. Okay? So, it means that pakiramdam mo na yung kung ano yung iniisip mo, magkakatotoo. Kung ano yung ini-imagine mo, ay pwedeng magkatotoo. Halimbawa, ini-imagine mo na ikaw ay kayang lumipad, so, feeling mo, kaya mo talagang lumipad. Ganun ang ibig sabihin ng magical thinking. Another one is thought insertion. Thought insertion is a delusion where a person believes their thoughts are not their own, but instead belong to someone else. Ito parang weirdo, no? Weird. Parang your thoughts, your thinking, or may paniniwala ka na yung pag-iisip mo ay hindi sa'yo. Okay? Yung pag-iisip mo ay sa ibang tao. Ganun yung belief mo, ano? Okay. So, next one, we also have thoughts of withdrawal. Thoughts of withdrawal is a delusional belief that someone's thoughts have been taken away from their mind. Ito naman, parang kabaligtaran nito ng thought of insertion. Pag thought of insertion kasi, di ba, parang in-insert nila yung pag-iisip ng ibang tao sa isip mo. Ganun yung iyong pananaw. Sa thought of withdrawal naman, ito naman yung delusion wherein ang akala mo or ang belief mo rather is yung sarili mong thoughts ay kinuha naman ng ibang tao. Okay? And you also have your thought of broadcasting, a delusional belief that others can hear your thoughts. So, pag thought of broadcasting naman, ang paniniwala mo rito ay yung iniisip mo ay naririnig ng ibang tao. So, those are our different forms of delusions. Okay? Another signs and symptoms ng schizophrenia natin is yung tinatawag natin na disorganized thinking. So, under the disorganized thinking, you have your loose association. So, when you say loose association, stringing together of unrelated topics with a vague connection. So, meron kang iba't ibang klase ng idea na pinagdudugtong-dugtong mo which are not actually connected by one another. For example, halimbawa, ang kinukwento mo ay for example, ganito, meron akong anak, nag-a-abroad siya, kumain ako kahapon ng saging. Diba? So, I'm stringing two ideas that are not actually connected with one another. Diba? Doon sa first idea ko, sinabi ko, meron akong anak na nag-abroad. And then yung second idea, bigla akong binanggit, kumain ako ng saging kahapon. So, those two ideas are not connected with one another. Therefore, I string them together to form one sentence. It means that I am suffering from a loose association. Okay? Next one is yung flight of ideas. Rapid process with fragmented movements from one unconnected topic or to another. So, pag sinabi mong flight of ideas, yung magkukwento or magsasalita ang isang tao ng mabilis na mabilis tapos yung kwento niya pabago-bago. Okay, papalit-palit ka ng topic. Okay, so ganun na, ganun ibig sabihin ng flight of ideas. You also have perseveration. So when you say perseveration, persistent adherence to a single idea or topic, verbal repetition of a word, phrase, or sentence. So pag sinabi mong perseveration, persistent siya dun sa single idea. Ayaw niyang umalis dun sa idea na yun. Paulit-ulit niyang babanggitin yung idea na yun, yung word na yun, yung phrase na yun, or sentence na yun. He stick to that idea only. So, yun yung perseveration. When you say echolalia naman, patient repeats whatever he hears. Di ba? Echo. Parang nga siyang echo, ano? Echolalia. It means, kung ano yung naririnig niya, uulitin niya. Di ba? For example, narinig niya talon. So, sasabihin niya, talon din, no? Tapos, narinig niya, sumigaw. So, ulitin niya, sumigaw. Okay, ganun yung echolalia. Another one is clang association. So, clang association, ito naman yung mga pasyente na akala mo tumutula. Yung mga binabanggit nila are always rhyming. Or pag nagre-respond sila sa conversation, yung respond nila are rhyming. Okay, so that is your clang association. Okay, so ano pa yung disorganized thinking natin? Ano? You also have neologism. For example, coining of new words. Pag sinabi natin neologism, a person coins new words o nag-iimbento siya ng mga ibang salita. Halimbawa, Pepperberg. Di ba? Parang kakaiba yan, ano? Yung QG. Okay, di ba? Flexcation. Yan. Mga neologism, ano? Neologism, inventing or coining of new words. You also have word salad. Pag word salad naman, random jumble of words and phrases. Pag word salad class, ito yung nagsasalita ang isang tao, pero yung mga words niya ay not connected to one another. Ganun ibig sabihin ng word salad. Ano? So, for example, isda, aso, ganyan, building, yung parang pinagsasama-sama lang niya yung mga iba't ibang salita into a sentence na wala namang connection sa bawat isa. Okay? Another one is verbigeration. So, stereotype repetition of words or phrases that may or may not have meaning. Okay? Verbigeration, para siyang echolalia, pero ito naman, mga phrases naman to that may or may not have meaning. Okay? Illusions, misinterpretation of real external sensory experiences. So, similar siya sa delusion wherein nakakakita siya, okay, or naaapektuhan yung external sensory experiences niya ng mga bagay na dapat ay wala naman. Okay? You also have dispersonalization, which means feeling of unreality. It means that pakiramdam niya yung nangyayari sa paligid niya ay hindi totoo. Ganon. Ganyan ibig sabihin ng dispersonalization, feeling of unreality. Okay? So, other signs and symptoms, okay? So, you also have affective flattening, reduced emotional expression, o yung tinatawag natin na flat affect. For example, halimbawa, nanalo sa loto, di ba? Pag nanalo ka sa loto, supposedly, dapat sobrang saya mo. But, what happens is, wala kang reaction. Parang ano ka lang, parang lang, ganyan lang. Okay? You don't show expression, you don't show emotion, even if na yung event or yung nangyari, mas warrant an emotion, either negative or positive. So, affective flattening or flat affect. You also have abolition or lack of motivation to engage in purposeful activities. So, abolition, wala kang motivation or wala kang gana or wala kang mood na gawin yung mga bagay na dating ginagawa mo. Okay? So, that is abolition. You also have alogia, poverty of speech, meaning parang yung verbal capacity mo ay nababawasan. Ano? Ganun yung ibig sabihin ng alogia. Okay? Anhedonia naman, inability to experience pleasure. Parang kahit gaano ka-pleasurable yung event, okay, or kaya yung activity, you don't experience pleasure. Okay, so yun yung mga signs and symptoms ng schizophrenia. Again, kagaya nga na sinabi ko, even though na napakadami nito, it doesn't mean naman na magmamanifest siya sabay-sabay. Okay, so minsan dalawa, minsan tatlo, minsan combination of the different signs and symptoms ang nangyayari. Ano? So that are the signs and symptoms of schizophrenia. Okay, now let's talk about the different types of schizophrenia. So, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng schizophrenia. Kina-classify natin yung types of schizophrenia. Classify natin ang schizophrenia depende doon sa signs and symptoms or combination of signs and symptoms na lumalabas sa isang pasyente. No? Okay, so number one, Okay, tinatawag natin na paranoid schizophrenia. So ano ba yung mga signs and symptoms ng paranoid schizophrenia? So predominance of delusions. Yung mga iba't ibang klase ng delusions natin, especially yung delusions of persecution. Yan, mga classic sign yan ng mga taong mayroong paranoid schizophrenia, no? Nakaka-experience din sila ng auditory hallucination wherein parang may bumubulong sa kanila, no? They are relatively preserved cognitive functioning. Medyo yung cognitive functioning nila o yung way of thinking nila unti-unti bumababa. So that is paranoid schizophrenia. Now, pag disorganized schizophrenia naman, okay, disorganized speech and behavior. So ito yung merong mga loose association, sila yung mga nagwo-word salad. Yan, very common yan sa mga disorganized schizophrenia. Sila rin yung mga kadalasan na merong flat affect or inappropriate affect, meaning halimbawa, dapat masaya yung event pero umiiyak siya. Okay, that is inappropriate affect. Or kaya namatayan pero parang walang emosyon. So that flat affect naman, ano? They have significant functional impairment also. Okay? So another one is yung catatonic schizophrenia. Ano yung sabihin ng term ng catatonic or catatonia? Pag sinabi mong catatonia, yung para bang nag-freeze or decrease of motor functioning. Ganun ibig sabihin ng catatonia. No? So for a person that is experiencing catatonic schizophrenia, there are marked motor disturbances. For example, stupor. Okay, rigidity, parang ang tigas-tigas ng katawan. Or sometimes, opposite, excessive motor activity naman, yung hindi mapakali. Akala mong merong ADHD, lakad dito, lakad doon, galaw dito, galaw doon. Ano? So sila rin yung mga commonly nag-echolalia or ecopraxia. Pag sinabi mo echolalia, inuulit nila yung sinasabi ng iba. Pag naman ecopraxia, inuulit nila yung actions ng iba. For example, may tumalon, tatalon din sila. So that is catatonic schizophrenia. Okay? So, meron din tayong undifferentiated. Pag sinabi mong undifferentiated schizophrenia, yung hindi natin siya pwedeng i-classify as a catatonic or disorganized or paranoid. So, mixed symptoms that do not fit neatly into other categories. Okay? So, yun yung undifferentiated schizophrenia. And of course, the last one is your residual schizophrenia. Residual schizophrenia, as the name implies, is yung nagmamanifest yung mild signs and symptoms after an acute episode ng schizophrenia. So that is your residual schizophrenia. Now, let's proceed with treatments and medication. So how do we treat at ano yung mga karaniwang gamot na pwede natin ibigay sa pasyente na nagsasuffer ng schizophrenia? Okay? So, let's start with the pharmacological treatment. Number one is yung first generation antipsychotics natin or yung typical antipsychotics. So, kasama na rito si haloperidol at saka si chlorpromazine. Okay, sila yan na. Okay? So, ano yung mga possible side effects ito? You have extrapyramidal symptoms or EPS, tardive dyskinesia, and also yung sedation. So, take note of that. For the second generation antipsychotics naman, yung atypical, so ang example natin ngayon is risperidone, olanzapine, clozapine, and aripiprazole. So ang advantages nito, it reduces the risk of EPS but potential for metabolic syndrome, weight gain, so pwede kang mag-develop ng diabetes pag second generation yung tinitake mo. No? You also have your adjunct medications, antidepressant for comorbid depression, and also mood stabilizer for mood disturbances. Okay? So aside from pharmacological treatment, meron din tayong mga psychosocial intervention. Number one na rito yung cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. So pag ginagawa natin yung CBT, we are trying to help the patients identify and challenge distorted thoughts. Parang we condition the patients na kung ano yung nahihinig nila or kung ano yung nakikita nila or ano yung nararamdaman nila ay wala silang control doon. So, hindi nila dapat paniwalaan because that is not the reality. So, ganun yung CBT natin. Ano? Parang kinukondition natin. Ano? So, you also have psychoeducation. So, educate patients and families about schizophrenia, treatment options, and coping strategies. So, patient education and family education. So, kailangan kasi alam ng pasyente ano ba ang schizophrenia para magkaroon siya ng idea kung ano yung pinagdadaanan niya. And even the families should also be educated about schizophrenia itself. Ano? So, you also have social skills training. So, pag social skills training, so we have to improve the interpersonal and communication skills ng pasyente. Siyempre, pag merong schizophrenia yan, parang, di ba, ang stigma natin dyan, sira ulo yan, gano'n, di ba? O tapos, wala nang lalapit. So, parang the patient, nagiging, socially distant. So, para maiwasan natin yon, kailangan natin siyang i-train socially to properly interact and communicate doon sa ibang tao. Okay, so you also have vocational rehabilitation, supports reintegration to the workforce or educational setting. Meaning, even though na meron siyang mental disorder, we try to support and help the patient na makabalik doon sa workforce or kung estudyante yan, makabalik sa kanyang pag-aaral. Okay? Other three interventions are electroconvulsive therapy or ECT, pero hindi na ito masyadong ginagawa. So, it is only indicated for severe cases. Ito yung kinukuryente. No? Indicated for severe cases, resistant to medication, particularly with catatonia again. Parang hindi na ito masyadong ginagawa. No? You also have lifestyle modification, encouraging healthy diet and regular exercises to counter metabolic side effects. And of course, proper stress management. Kasi kung babalikan nga natin yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, stress can actually lead to schizophrenia. So, para matreat natin yan, okay, so turuan natin yung pasyente natin ng proper stress management. Okay? Now, how about for nursing care of schizophrenia? As nurses, ano ba ang role natin dito? Ano ba ang mga kailangan natin gawin in supporting and treating the patients with schizophrenia? Number one is we have to do our comprehensive assessment. First, evaluate mo yung severity at saka yung type of symptoms. Okay? Positive ba, negative ba, or cognitive ba yung symptoms na lumalabas doon sa pasyente natin. Because of that, you can already classify it kung yan ba ay paranoid, disorganized, or even catatonic. Ano? So, another one is assess yung possible risk factor kasi we are concerned with the safety of the patient, especially kung siya ay merong suicidal ideation or potential for violence, lalo na yung mga merong nakaka-experience ng hallucinations and delusions. Importante yan na i-assess mo yung possible risk factors para for his or her safety. Okay, monitor medication adherence and also yung side effects. So we have to monitor kung ang pasyente ba ay nagme-medicate or nagtitake ba ng proper medication for schizophrenia, and also kung lalabas ba yung side effects or hindi. So ina-assess natin yan. Ano? For our interventions naman, number one, always naman to, we have to promote safety. So as much as possible, alisin natin yung possible trigger to reduce environmental stressors. Okay? Monitor for signs of self-harm or harm to others. Importante yan. Next one is you have to establish trust. You have to build rapport with your patient. Dapat pagkatiwalaan ka ng pasyente mo. So you do this by active listening and non-judgmental communication. So makikinig ka lang sa kanya, no? And do not be judgmental doon sa condition ng pasyente. Okay? Also, manage psychotic symptoms. Gently reorient the patient to reality. Pag may nakikita siya na, for example, the patient is already experiencing hallucination, may nakikita siya, huwag mong i-reinforce. Halimbawa, may nakita siyang isang tao, tapos bigla mo sasabihin na, ay oo nga nakikita ko rin, pero wala naman. Don't ever do that. You have to reorient the patient to reality. Pag sinabi niyang may nakikita siya, sabihin mo, wala naman akong nakikita. Okay, so ikaw lang ang nakakakita. So it means na hindi yan totoo, hindi yan, it's not reality. Okay? So avoid direct confrontations of delusions or hallucinations, meaning wag mong i-reinforce yung delusions at saka hallucinations ng pasyente mo. Ano? Okay? So encourage self-care. Of course, syempre, assist with hygiene, grooming, and also nutrition if necessary. Okay? Promote gradual independence. Okay? Another one is support family education, provide guidance on managing symptoms at home, encourage participation in support group also. So yun yung mga possible nursing intervention na pwede natin gawin dun sa mga pasyente that are suffering from schizophrenia. Okay? Now, another one, okay, na responsibility natin as nurses is to do your evaluation. So evaluate mo. assess the improvement ng symptoms ng pasyente mo. Okay na ba? Okay, na-manage ba yung symptoms? Okay? Evaluate also the patient social, occupational, and also personal functioning. Tingnan mo, unti-unti bang nag-integrate ang pasyente sa society? Okay, bumabalik na ba siya sa trabaho? Pati ba yung self-care niya, saka yung personal functioning niya, okay na ba? So, we have to evaluate those. Okay? So, in conclusion, schizophrenia is a complex and multifaceted disorder requiring a collaborative and compassionate approach to care. Okay? With appropriate treatment and support, individuals with schizophrenia can lead fulfilling lives, improve their functional abilities, and achieve better quality of life. Nurses plays a pivotal role in delivering patient-centered care, fostering hope, and empowering both patients and families to navigate the challenges for their conditions. So as you can see, as nurses, napaka-importante ng role natin for the treatment of schizophrenia. And as you also can see with the signs and symptoms na pwedeng ma-experience sa isang pasyente na mayroong schizophrenia, it's very difficult talaga. Okay? So as nurses, we should be there to support them, to aid in treatment and medications, and para magkaroon ng full recovery or even full integration doon sa society yung ating pasyente. Okay? So that's it. That ends my discussion. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again for our next discussion. Thank you so much.